Hello my crafty friends, and welcome to another video by yours truly. Thank you for joining me. As you can see before you, I'm going to be doing something from Crafters Companions Flamazing Flamingo collection. I love it. It's really nice collection, and usual stuff. You get paper pads, dies, embossing folders, pens, and what have you, papers, 12 by 12, 6 by 6. You know, the usual things that you'll find in a Crafter's Companion collection. Now, what I've done is, ta-da! So, this is the card I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you all the measurements. Now, as usual, if you like what you see, please subscribe and share my channel amongst all your other crafty friends. That would be absolutely brilliant if you could do that. But please subscribe. That'd be absolutely amazing if you could do that. And thank you so much for just joining me and spending the time with me. So hello again from Plymouth, a sunny Plymouth at long last. So this is what we're going to do. Now I'm going to show you, I did this kind of similar card many years ago, and I did it, and again, believe it or not, this is a Crafter's Companion collection, well, from a CD-ROM many years ago, and this is what I did with it then, and and it's got an acetate cover. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. So anyway, so this is what I did years ago, and I've adapted it obviously to this one. Now, don't worry, I've done a lot of preparation for this. I'm going to do the cutting, so you know where I've done things, and I've done the mat and layering, so you won't have to worry about me doing that. So let's get cracking, and let's do this card. Let's put that to one side. Now you're going to need 2 sheets of A4 white cardstock, and we get our cutter and we cut them down to 11.5. So if you cut it, sorry, I'm knocking the thing. So we cut it down. Now this is all in inches because it was easier. So I've done this in all inches. So 11.5, and you will get it from, that's all you wasting, so that can be binned. And then 7 3/4. So 7 3/4. Again, that's all we're wasting. And you do that to both sheets of card. So just to say again, 11.5 by 7 3/4. So 7 3/4, and again, make sure your card is buttered right up to the top, and we get rid of that. Now keep one. I'm gonna make this our base layer. So do a little bit of scoring, tiny bit of scoring. So on the first one, we score at 4 inches. So again, bring it to the 4-inch mark. Make sure it's straight at the top, and then a few ups and downs just to ease the card. Put that to one side for a minute because we will be needing it. Make sure it's, yep, that is brilliant. And then we get our scoring tool, and then we just do that. That is our base layer. What I will say as well, obviously, because of the size, it will fit quite happily into an 8 by 8 envelope. So I'm going to put that to one side, and we bring in our second piece of card, which, as we've just done, is cut to exactly the same measurements, 11.5 by 7 3/4 inches. Now with the long side at the top, we score at 2 inches. So make your first one 2 inches, slide it along, and we score again at 5.5 inches. Again, make sure it's all butted up nice and tight to the top. And then extending our arm, we then move it along to 7.5 inches. Make sure it's all nice and neat at the top. And you can put that to one side, put your scoring tool away, and that is all the scoring. Now to make it easier, the middle score line is mountain fold. So mountain fold that one. So the other two obviously are going to be valley fold. So and then turn it over, and then that is a valley fold, and that is basically the inside of your card. So when I bring that in, so there you go, and that is basically your card layer. So let's do some mat and layering. Now, as I say, I have done all my mat and layers, so I'm going to just sort these out. That goes there, that one goes there, so we can put those to one side for the minute and just concentrate on these two. So that is my outside one, and that is the inside one, which will go like that. Now I've made a faux pas here, as you can see. I've had to turn, but it doesn't matter. I'm not overly worried, because by the time you put the top layer on, you're not going to really see it. I would have liked it to have been the other way, but hey ho, I wasn't concentrating. But never mind, I can live with it. Right, let's give you some measurements. Right, so let's get rid of the pattern and get rid of the pattern one on there, and let's give you some measurements on this. So we have got our first the pattern, the plain is 3 3/4 by 7.5. So 3 3/4 by 7.5, and the inside panel is 7 1/4 by 7.5. So you have got 7 1/4 by 7.5. So let's put these in place. I've got my tape runner handy somewhere. There we go. So let's put these in. And there's also very little die cutting as well, only for the... And be careful how you put this down, because it can be a bit tricky. So yes, test it first. So that is the correct way, because if I put it that way, as you can see the bottom, let me move this up a bit. If I put it that way, it's wrong, because you can see the bottom. But if I turn it around, it fits. That's the proper way. So that's the right way. So always check before you actually fix anything down, and then you know I've got a nice border around the edge. So let's get our piece that goes on the front. A little bit down in the middle. There we go. That goes down there like that. And then our first set of pattern papers. Now this is now I decrease it by 1/4 inch, so that means this one is going to be now 3.5, and it should be by 7.5. 7 1/4. So it is 3.5 by 7.5 by 7 1/4. So there we go. So 3.5 by 7 1/4. So we can stick that down. And again, you can decide which pattern you want, because you could actually get away with putting it down that way if you wanted to. But I like the I want to do all the flowers and everything, so make it a bit more colourful. So we can put that down now onto our base and just hover and just go like that. That's very cool. It's coming together. And now we just get our little piece for the inside. Again, you can use double-sided tape or wet glue, whatever is your preference. As you can see, I'm using one of Crafter's Companions. So I'm just going to place this down onto my... But I'm going to do it the other way. And the reason I've done that is because when I come to do the die cutting, I don't want to see, if I can help it, the flamingos the wrong way round. Flowers I can get away with. Flamingos, a bit dodgy. So, yeah, so let's go with that. I still haven't, still a bit skewy. And if you're quick enough, you can. So let's try that again. There we go, bit better. Cool. So that's our base card, all done, matte and layered. So we can put that to one side, forget that for the minute, and let's concentrate on our inside piece of card. Now I'll give you some measurements. As you can see, I've done all mine already. I've pre-cut them. So this first bit here is 1 3/4. I beg your pardon. That's 1 3/4, and that is 7.5. So 1 3/4 by 7.5. So we can tape this down now. Put some tape on there. And on there, and a little bit down the middle if you so desire. So flatten this out, and we just cool. And then we get our next bit, which goes onto this panel here, and the measurements for that one is 3 3/4 by 7.5. So that's 3 3/4 by 7.5. And again, if you've worked it out, I've gone down 1/4 of an inch for the pattern paper. So, and again, as I'm reading that, it's probably good to make notes of the measurements, and then you've got it for future reference. And if you like this particular style of card, then again, it's good to have the measurements, and then you can you've got them then for future reference. Right, okay, so this one now is 3.5 by 7.5. So 3.5 by 7.5. So, and this is why I've kept it 2 inches, because it was much easier and it worked out easier. I didn't have any like 5 7/8 or 3 7/8 or any of that funny business. Just kept it to 1/4 and halves. which obviously makes life so much easier. So bring that in. There we go, that's our second bit. And now this final piece, it is 1.5 by 7.25. So 1.5 by 7.25, and that is our final bit of pattern paper to go into our gorgeous card that we're creating. And that can go onto our end panel there. And all we need to do now is get our die. Which I did have around ready, obviously, somewhere. And I've lost it. Oh, that is real and truly lost. So what have I done with that? Yeah. Found it. That's the one. Sorry, I do apologise. Right, so this is one. This is an edgeable. So, which means now you can fit this however way you want. So I'm going to roughly put it in the middle, and then bit of tape along the top, bit of tape over along the bottom. We get our plates. Obviously I'm putting it through my Gemini, so yeah, I think that'd be okay. And then I'll show you a little trick once we get this cut. Turn that off, and so we hopefully now we're going to do well, look at that, and I've used that bit of tape so many times and I didn't think that would happen, but hey ho. Right, let's deal with the die first. So I can put it away so I know where it is, and I won't lose it again. So let's get rid of that, put that on there, back in its packet. Right, so we just need to pick out some of these bits here. So, and generally it's done it pretty well. Because a Gemini is a bit of a beast of a machine. So it does one pass and then it gets it all out. So we've got a little bit of, there we go. So get rid of that, and we just need to emphasize these leaves here. Right, what I might do is rummage through and see what we've got in the collection. Right, and that's where I'm going to just get rid of that one. Get rid of that. If you've got any stray bits, just take them out, which I think I've now done. Cool, right, so now I've got all the die cut bits out. Get rid of that. Now, what you need to do to make it fold properly is, see this at the top here where I've got my pokey tool, just cut along there with your craft knife. Don't know if you can see that. Let me just hold that. So there you go. So that bit along there, you need just to cut with your craft knife. So let's get my craft knife. Oh, what is that for? Here we go, there we go. Right, so sorry about that. So we just need to cut just along. You can see where it's already cut along there. So what we're going to do, just cut along there, and just like that, and then that should get rid of that, and then that helps it fold. Really miff with that, and then that's how you get your card. So as it's been through, just we do all these score lines again as it's been through a and then we can add some double-sided tape. So get our, and you don't need to go mad with this. Let me go. I might put some on the inside of this as well, so make sure you get the right side. So I'm just going to go down there. Tape to tape is always good. Get rid of that before I get into an awful mess, which I can see happening. And we just line these up. Let me bring that up so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Line that up, press that down, and that's one side in place. So we just flip this over. Just be very tool because of the die cut, and just flatten it, and then bring your tape runner down, give it a nice bit of tape, swap it over down this side, and then just very gently just marry these two ends up. Just like that, and that, my friends, is your card completed. And I hope you do like it. So there we go. So if you like it, please subscribe to please subscribe to my channel. That'd be absolutely brilliant. And like and share if you possibly can. That will also be brilliant. I've just rooted out the rest of the collection, and there are bits and pieces. So you've got foliage here, some leaves, which obviously coordinate with the rest of the collection. So if you do have something like this, you can die cut some leaves, put some leaves down there. So I mean, it's not the end of the world. I will do that at a later date. You've got some stencils, stamps, you've got another stamp, you've got, now this is interesting, because if you want to do something down there, you can do so, because you have got in this die set some foliage. So all you need to do is die cut that out in green, chop the bits off and extend it, and you've got, and again you've got other bits of foliage as well, so you could use that. So if you do you know, you do make a bit of a mess, I'm just a messy crafter, there are ways of covering it up and hiding it, so don't fret about it. Again, you've got a big die there. I mean, again let's open this. I think this is quite a big die, and if you again if you cut this out in green, if you cut it in green, die cut it in green, and then you can still, there we go. Right, so let's have a look at this die. I mean, yeah, that's cool, look at that. I mean, that's the first size, so that would virtually cover up that die, and it's in. So let's just take this out, because in this one you've got the frame as well, so that means if you so desire, you can cut it out and then just chop it down to whatever size you want, so you can fill bits in. So that's useful. So there's different ways of covering things. So, and then we can just, and that is our Flamazing Flamingo card. I do hope you like it. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, again, let me reiterate, if you like, share and copy, like, share and copy and paste onto your own social media groups that you belong to, that would be awesome. And see you next time. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. Thank you. Goodbye, and see you next time.